Afternoon, everyone. Excuse me. Allison Turner here, Bad Cat Media Group, home of Dream Plan Start Grow, which is my business coaching and podcast programs. I wanted to jump on here today and talk a little bit about unity. And it's kind of come full circle for me. So I walk a lot and I go for walks, sometimes early in the morning, sometimes later in the afternoon, sometimes in the evenings. And I always try and say hello when I walk by people. And it's fascinating to me, the responses I get. And it's very specific, or at least I shouldn't say it's just specific to Southeast Florida, but I see it a lot here. If I was on the west coast of Florida, it's a little different response. If I was in the Midwest, it'd be a different response. So take it for what it is. But when I go walking, I try and say hello to people, and I either get someone that says hello back, and they make eye contact. I get someone that says hello, but they don't make eye contact. Usually they're looking at the ground. Someone that just ignores what I said to them. Now, sometimes they have AirPods on or some kind of headphones, so they're listening to something. So I understand there's a few exceptions to this. But it's interesting to me that I get so many that divert eye contact. So even if I was just walking by someone and just wanted to nod at them, I would turn towards them, make eye contact, and just nod at them. That's a different form of hello, right? It's me saying hello, but just not verbally saying it. But most people seem to divert eye contact. And when I say divert, it's not just that they're looking straight ahead. It is they are looking at the ground. So it's kind of fascinating to me. And I started thinking about how divided we are right now. I mean, at least I see it, and this is my own personal opinion. I see it a lot in this country, and a lot of times it's around these subjects of race or politics or religion or whatever it is. And it's like this versus this. I mean, it's like there's no happy medium. It's not like people want to try and understand another point of view, which is really sad to me, because I really feel, as a society, and again, this is my viewpoint, that we should be able to coexist. I mean, that's what this country was created on. The United States was created on a premise that we could coexist and that we were better as kind of that melting pot versus just fighting and doing a lot of infighting. But in today's world, if you turn the news on, it's interesting. I go to the gym early in the mornings, and if I go into their, I guess what would be like their fitness room where they do classes later in the day, but they have some smaller weights and they have some, crunch balls and things like that. So I go back there, and one TV has CNN on and one has Fox News on. So it's interesting because they're side by side. And so I can kind of see what each one's talking about. And usually they're both talking against the other party. I mean, they may be talking about something that's going on, but they have completely different stories going on, different points of view. It's not like a national, any kind of unification. So it's kind of interesting to me about that as well. And it got me to thinking of our local politics. So we have an election coming up in less than a couple of weeks. I think it's a week from today, actually. And it's super heated. And you get to the point where people are won't do business with people that maybe vote the other direction. So I just kind of keep my mouth shut because, frankly, it's not anyone's business who I vote for. But it's really sad that we can't have intelligent conversations that aren't accusatory, discriminatory, all those kinds of things going back and forth. And I feel it all starts from that, me going for a walk and having that eye contact with somebody. And it may be a simple premise, but if I can't go for a walk and walk by someone and say hello and make contact, and they say hello back, we're not getting a big conversation, it just leads me to believe how disconnected are we as a society? And then how does that affect business? How does that affect relationships? And could we be doing better? Could we be doing better as a society? Could we be living, into a greater good as society? And the world and how does that impact the world? Because, most of us know that, that small change can be that ripple effect. When I first moved here 22 years ago, it'd be 23 years this year, I moved from Chicago. So I was in the Midwest. Midwest is very friendly, very, hey, say hello to people. I moved here and I was kind of shell shocked by some of it. I had always vacationed here, but when you vacation, you're in the hospitality arena. And so it's not showing you the same group of people. Let's just say it that way. So I vacationed here before. And then when I moved here, I got to that point of people wouldn't, they wouldn't make eye contact unless they were really talking to you. And it's interesting to me, and then I went to the west coast of Florida, like maybe a couple of years in, and then all of a sudden someone said hello to me and I was like, oh, someone said hello to me. Like they initiated the conversation. So I was all excited, but then I was kind of shocked of like, oh my God, are they trying to like do something? Because that's the premise I feel here sometimes. That's the underlying tone. So I really want to encourage people, and I'm kind of going around in different directions today, but it's really struck me more recently when I've gone for walks and I've intentionally tried to say hello to people. Not that I want to strike up a conversation. I'm walking by them. I'm walking pretty quick by them. Just say hello. Just make eye contact. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. So I really want to encourage you to go that extra mile. So if you don't know someone, just say hello to them. If you walk by a homeless person, say hello. If you do whatever you're doing, take a minute and say hello. It's not even a minute. Take 5 seconds and say hello, make eye contact and see what happens. Because my intention is to really create more unity and not division. My intention is, if I can make one small difference, and if that's going for a walk and saying hello to someone I pass by and making that eye contact, and so we're not so distant, we're not so separated, then why not do it? And then what could that lead to? When I was doing phase 3 of 75 Hard, it was go strike up a conversation with a stranger. And I would go into and talk to like cashiers at grocery stores and things like that. And you would get clearly they wouldn't even say anything. They wouldn't even say like, hello, hardly. They might say, hi, how you doing? And that was it. But as soon as I struck up a conversation, asked them something about themselves, they lit up. So if we could do little things like that, where we can connect to someone else instead of being so divisive and, around politics or whatever it is, think of what a better place we could create and then better business. So if you go into, networking situations, or if you go to a place where maybe it's not a networking situation and you want to, create those relationships, walk up to someone, just say hello. Again, you don't have to have a whole conversation if you don't want to, but walk up to someone and look at what kind of difference it makes when you make the eye contact, when you have that just brief, you acknowledge someone, they've been seen in it. I think it'll make a huge difference if everyone would do it, where we're not so disconnected as a society and each person is not so in their own world. I feel like everyone's in their own world. And I'm in my own world at 5:30 in the morning too, because I'm listening to Clubhouse, but I always intentionally try and say hello to someone I'm walking by. Again, I'm not looking for a conversation. It's early. I just want to say hello. How you doing? That's it. So go out there. If you go for a walk, if you're walking downtown, say hello. We have a lot of, at least if you're in Florida, we have a lot of snowbirds in town. We have travelers in here, guests. Say hello. Make people feel welcome. You leave town, you go to another country, say hello. I mean, I went to France a few years ago and everyone was like, oh, the French hate the Americans and blah, blah, blah. And I would always address the French in French first. I don't speak fluent French, but I would always say hello in French and then ask if they could speak English in French. And I got probably 99% could speak English, and they would switch to English and they would answer my question. Super nice. I only got one that looked annoyed by that. But I didn't assume they spoke English. I didn't walk up to them and say, hi, I'm, Allison from the United States. Do you speak English, right? I always address people in French ask them in French if they spoke English. And then, so it's, for me, it's how do we initiate the conversation? How do we make that connection and create that unity? Each of us is accountable to ourselves, and we can make a difference. And you will see when you make that difference, it will not only reverberate for you, but your business, if you own one, people around you, and it's a ripple effect. So it goes out. So I hope everyone has a great night tonight. Hopefully I didn't lose people going around in kind of different circles here, but it's been on my heart. It's really been bothering me that people don't make eye contact when I walk by them on a walk. So try it and really make the difference that you can make. As I think it's Gandhi that said, be the change you want to see. Thanks for the heart, whoever did that. Be the change you want to see in the world. So if you can do it, then maybe that one other next person that you said hello to and you saw will then do it to the next person. And now it's small changes, and that's the ripple effect to make a bigger impact in the world. So I hope everyone has a great night. If you catching the tail end, I do encourage you to go back and listen to it. Share some comments. I'd love to know what other people think about this concept. And have a great night. I will see you again tomorrow for Hump Day.